So, Team USA have been good in the Olympics. I think their starting lineup has been terrible, but in general, I do feel they've been good. Look, the Japan game, forget about it. That game does not count. But if you look even at the Belgium game, other than the first quarter, which they had a slow start and they kind of, not even that it was offensively an issue with the starters, it was that they were just able to attack two players. And they did the same to start the third quarter, and it was the same again today. It's just they could not get a stop with the starters. And I thought Team USA were unbelievable defensively. I thought they were fantastic defensively. And look, Kelsey Plum's not a good defender, and I thought she did a really good job as a pest. But that's not who this video is about. It is for the other Aces player in this picture right here. It's for Jackie Young. Outside of the big two, and I think Alyssa Thomas has probably been their third best player maybe, I think Jackie Young has been their X factor. If we're talking about a player that has made the most of their minutes, and the one thing I'm a little bit worried about is the commentator saying that Cheryl Reeve was basically playing her bench a load of minutes because she wants to keep her starters fresh for the quarterfinal. If I was American, I'd be very worried about that because there are levels to basketball, and Jackie Young is 5 levels above Diana Taurasi and Chelsea Gray. I think Jackie Young was absolutely incredible the last couple of games. I think she changed the game against Belgium, and I think she was the best player on the floor today. Both ends. So you can see Jackie Young averaging 8.7 points per game. But look at her minutes. Look at her minutes. She had none in 9 minutes against Belgium. 7 in 13 against Japan. Again, ignore the Japan game. But that's the crazy thing is the points don't mean everything. You can see against Belgium, where she changed the game, and this is why you can't be a box score watcher. She was an X factor in that game. She was a plus-minus, a +1, had 1 foul, 1 rebound, and zeros in the rest of the stats. And the amount of people being would have looked at that and been she did nothing. Oh my God, why is she playing more minutes? She changed everything. Because they could not stop. And as much as you want to say, oh, she didn't score that many points, why do you keep mentioning this? It was that when your point of attack defender gets burned, it causes your defense to rotate. And this is not a good defensive rotation team. It don't rotate well. So, if that on-ball defender is getting burned every single time, like Jewel Lloyd and Chelsea Gray Ware and Julie Van Loo, if they're getting burned every single time, it forces the whole defense to shift. And then with the way Belgium moved the ball, they were getting open shots, they were getting open layups, they were getting easy opportunities when she wasn't on the floor. And I thought Kat Copper did a really good job as well today of being a lockdown defender. But I think Jackie Young's got to start. Today, obviously, she had 19 points. She shot the lights out. Every shot she took. Still a bit of a weird-looking jump shot, but who am I to say? If it goes in, it goes in. She's improved so much her three-point shot over where she came into the W with it. She wasn't the greatest rookie in the world, even though she was the number 1 pick, but she's become arguably the best guard in this league. I think the best guards in the WNBA, if you don't consider Kat Copper a guard, is between Breanna, Jackie Young, and either of the CCs, Kennedy Carter or Caitlin Clark. It's one of those 4. They're the 4 best guards in the W by quite a lot, in my opinion. I think they're both quite a lot better than Kelsey Plum. I think they're both quite a lot better. They're all quite a lot better than Jewel Lloyd, those 4. And they're obviously a lot better than Taurasi. But it's not even what she's doing. It's kind of how she's doing it. Because, look, I know she's good for the Aces. And she was racking up those assists at the start of the year when she was playing point guard. But she's just come in and said, okay, I'm going to be a lockdown defender. Because she wasn't getting many minutes. She was end of the bench. She was end of the bench in the All-Star game. I think the only person who played less than her was Fee Collier, who was injured. So she was an end of the bench player and has just decided, okay, I'm going to be the team's defensive specialist. And then goes and has 19 points today. So from defensive specialist to 19 points, it is impressive. It's very, very, very impressive. And if you're looking at the way the team is constructed, they need that. I do think that the team should be picked more like a team and not just a collection of people a collection of friends, basically, that they're kind of happy having. I don't think that a Jackie Young should have to be a lockdown defender, but someone has to do it on the team, and if that's what Jackie Young is going to step up and do, fair play. I don't think Breanna should be your Courtney Vandersloot pass first point guard, but if that's what they want, she can be that, especially because she can't run. I don't necessarily think that... I'm trying to think who's not playing their game. Kelsey Plum's just running around being a pest, in fairness to her. And Kat Copper decided to focus on defense today. If you're building a team, Ariel Atkins is there. So if you're being cooked by a guard, yeah, Ariel Atkins, you just go on the floor and lock them down. Like, realistically, Ariel Atkins is there and she can play that role. Realistically, Alyssa Thomas doesn't have to play this hustle player role. You bring in Angel Reese for that. And again, you just don't... The team's horribly constructed, and we know it is. But it is interesting to see who can actually like adapt their game and do something. And we saw it with Kat Copper today, and we've seen it throughout this Olympics with Jackie Young. Like Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson are the only players good enough that they're going to be able to play the game they play in the WNBA with the same usage rate, with the same touches as they get in the W, because they're the two best players in the team. Everybody else has to adapt their game, which is why I don't like just bringing a collection of players that are big names, because the pieces don't fit. I don't like the way Team USA picks their teams based on who was at camp, and then they changed their mind and said it wasn't about camp, it was about familiarity, and then changed their mind and then said, oh, it was about... I don't even know how many excuses they gave. It's about the best 12 players, and changed their mind again. But the team, again, I think Jackie Young has to be a starter. She just has to be. I would go personally, I would start Alyssa Thomas at the point. I think offensively she can play there. I think you can go with some weird lineup where she's playing like point forward and kind of drifts a little bit like she does in Connecticut. Like, Cheryl Reeve has to be a good enough coach to be able to adapt that. Play like she is in Connecticut. She's being a good defender. She can play at the 3. I just don't like her necessarily off the ball unless she's kind of floating. Or if you want to play at the 4 and you can bring Stewie out to the wing, that could work too. But Alyssa Thomas has to start. For me, Jackie Young has to start. You cannot... Like, you're playing Nigeria, who, again, they've got tough guards. If you're playing Australia, like, Jade Melbourne's not an easy matchup at international level. So, and as much as she's struggling, she's still not an easy matchup. You've got to have a defensive specialist on the floor. You've got on the perimeter, because international teams, the one thing they have over Team USA is they all have better point guards. They've all got better, more dynamic point guards. So you've got to have someone to match up. So the way the team's going, you got to start these two. Obviously, you don't bench Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson. And then for me, you start Kat Copper. What she did on defense today, plus the fact she can shoot the ball, she's a must start. But I think the X factor for this team has been Jackie Young. Look, we're talking hypotheticals. We're talking about what the best team is going to be. But we all know the starting lineup is going to be Chelsea Gray, Diana Taurasi, Fee Collier. She's not benching Chelsea Gray because, I don't know, probably feels bad about 2021. She's not benching Taurasi because we all know Taurasi is not there for basketball reasons. She's not benching Fee because she coaches her in club. There's obviously a conflict of interest there, and she's not going to bench Fee. And then, obviously, the two best players are Stewie and Aja Wilson. Neither of them are coming off the bench. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.